Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and welcome to another episode of Sipping with Jeremy. And we're going to be doing another What Do I Do With This segment. And today we're going to be highlighting the Boston Harbor Distillery Demon Seed. So Boston Harbor Distillery was founded in 2012 by Rhonda Coleman, and its building dates back to 1859 in historical Boston Harbor. And the Demon Seed is a whiskey that is blended with scorpion peppers, maple syrup, and ginger. So let's go ahead and give the Demon Seed a try real quick, see what kind of flavor profile we're working with. So yeah, on the nose, you definitely get some of the pepper. You get a little bit of the ginger. And then up front, on the palate, that pepper is really big. It's not, I wouldn't say aggressive, but you definitely get scorpion pepper heat. So if you are a fan of spicy, this really isn't a whiskey for you to try. But it does balance out. You know, you get this really nice like maple syrup kind of coating on the palate. And then that ginger, you would think would be too aggressive with the spice, but it actually does mellow out the spice a little bit, the heat a little bit, I would say. It just brings some more of that ginger kind of spice vibrancy to it. And yeah, that maple syrup on the back end, it really, rounds out everything. Again, coating the palate, coating your taste buds, so you don't get too much spice on the palate, but then you get it more on the earthiness, more of that kind of roasty, peppery flavor. So really, a really fun combination here. So now the question becomes, what do we do with it? And there's a couple different ways you could go, but how about we try the first way with just a really easy old-fashioned. Alright, so the old-fashioned is a tried and true cocktail, super easy to make. All you need is your whiskey, some simple syrup, and some bitters. And again, this is an easy cocktail. You can actually build it in the glass, so we're going to start there. Now, since the Demon Seed does have some maple syrup, we don't need that much of the simple syrup to go in there too. So usually I do about a half ounce. I'm going to start with a quarter ounce this time. If we need to add, you can always add. You can never take away from a cocktail. Just remember that when you're building stuff at home. So we're going to go quarter ounce simple syrup here. We're going to do ounce and a half of the Demon Seed. Gonna give a couple spritzes of Angostura bitters here. Then we're just gonna stir that up a little bit. Just throw a little orange in there. Presentation. There we go. Demon Seed Old Fashioned. Okay. So it has a little bit more of a slow roll to the heat on this one, I would say. So that simple syrup and the maple syrup work really well to coat your palate a little bit more than the maple syrup did on its own. And then you get this vibrant spiciness, heat from the peppers, and then you get the nice kind of roasted flavors from the peppers. You get a little bit more of that earthy note from the pepper as well. And then the ginger works really well with the Angostura bitters to just give you this little bit more of a kind of a pop of ginger in there. That helps kind of break down some of the spice notes of the scorpion pepper. Old Fashioned could definitely work with it. What can we do next, though? Since this does have ginger in it, and we want to keep playing with that, why not a version of a Dark and Stormy? Dark and Stormy or Mule, really had a renaissance about 5 or 8 years ago, and that is just a simple cocktail where you have your spirit, some ginger ale, ginger beer, some lime juice, and that's it. Yeah, we're going to try the Demon Seed now in a mule version and see what that's like. So start out with the lime juice. Going to go about 3/4 of an ounce here. Then we're going to go with the ounce and a half of Demon Seed. And then we're just going to top off the rest with the ginger ale. Give that a little stir real quick. Make sure everything plays together well. And top it off with some fresh lime. Alright, so we have a Demon Seed Mule here, the Demon's Mule, if you'd like. Yeah. Ooh! Man, that makes that very different. So you might be afraid that the ginger in the ginger ale and the ginger might combine too much to make it too ginger powerful. But really what it does, it just surprisingly cuts down the spice of the scorpion pepper. You get much more of the earthy, roasty kind of flavors of the pepper up front. So you get this vibrant, like green herbal note with this nice kind of earthy tone to it. Then you get this really vibrant ginger there too. The lime works really well with that ginger too to kind of pop it up a little bit more. You definitely lose the maple syrup. I would say the maple syrup kind of goes away. But you do notice a little bit of sweetness, so there's still there, but it just doesn't have the flavor profile like it does in the old-fashioned or like it does on its own. But yeah, this is like a way more refreshing version of a whiskey drink. And it has like spicy margarita vibes to it. Just super easy drinking. That's a fun summer cocktail, really. I mean, especially if you like spice. Like, if you have someone who likes spicy margaritas, they say they never like whiskey, never try. Give them this and see what they think. Because this one's, I think, ooh, this is a really fun one. So now the question is, what is the third drink to make with Demon Seed? And, and you could go with a classic whiskey cocktail, but I really like what it did with this Dark and Stormy. So let's try another rum one. How about let's try a Mai Tai. So according to Smuggler's Cove, a Mai Tai is 3/4 ounce lime juice, 1/4 ounce simple syrup, 1/4 ounce orgeat syrup, 1/2 ounce dry curacao, and 2 ounces of blended rum. So obviously we're going to switch out the blended rum with the Demon Seed, but everything else is going to be pretty straightforward. I don't have Dharma sugar, which is typically what you use in a Mai Tai, so we're just going to use a simple syrup. We have our 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. 1/4 ounce orgeat. We're using Liquid Alchemist orgeat. And we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of Brovo dry curacao. Three-fourths of an ounce of lime juice. Now we're going to do 2 ounces of the Demon Seed. Got some ice in here. We're going to shake this up now. And then we have a little lime to top it off with. So you could also add mint to this. Mint is also typically in a Mai Tai. I just don't have any right now, so apologize for that. But yeah, so we have a Mai Tai here made with the Demon Seed. Because of the lime juice and the dry curacao, you're getting a lot of similar profiles that you would get for a margarita, spicy margarita. Very much like what we did with the Dark and Stormy, where you just have a spicy kind of margarita profile to it. This has a lot of that too. The pepper in this one is a lot more forward than it was in the Dark and Stormy. You definitely get more of the herbaceousness, that earthy kind of vegetal note from the peppers here. You still get some of the spice, but definitely the orgeat calms that down a little bit. That simple syrup calms it down a little bit. But you definitely get some bigger peppery notes on this one. Yeah, that lime really gives it a nice little pop. It works really well with the ginger. That ginger gets a little bit more candied. And so that's really nice too. So, yeah, fun combination. A little spicy. Again, the Dark and Stormy kind of calmed down that spice, but with the Mai Tai, it gets a little bit more of the heat kind of up front, but then it calms down with a little bit of the orgeat, again, with the simple syrup. It does balance it out nicely. And then that ginger gets, again, a little candied. That actually brings a really nice pop with that lime. So, yeah, that is a Mai Tai with the Demon Seed. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up this episode of Sipping with Jeremy. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed what you learned about the Boston Distillery Demon Seed. Below, you will find links for the Demon Seed, as well as the Brovo Curacao and the Orgeat from Liquid Alchemist that we used here. We also have the link for the blog I made for Demon Seed when it was our Spirit of the Month. And yeah, if this is your first episode watching for us, thank you for joining us, and hope you check out our old episodes. Don't forget to subscribe so you get these into your feed every 2 weeks when they pop up. And yeah, thanks for checking us out, y'all. Don't forget to check out the store's website too. And I will see you in 2 weeks with a new episode of Sipping with Jeremy. Drink well.